See, you done brought up AEW and WWE. Oh, I got to go in. I got to go in. I got to go in. I like AEW. I like AEW. On site, I like AEW, but often, and I mean every week I watch the show, you can clearly tell that they are taking digs at WWE and like the past. And I can't help but go, y'all realize y'all do the exact same shit that they still do, right?
Yeah.
And I think the same thing about WWE. I was like, y'all realize that y'all do some of the same stuff that you would mock your competitors for. Because like them getting rid of like some of their more popular talent is very bizarre. It's very bizarre.
And yeah, nobody can figure out what's going on, why it's happening.
Yeah, and then what does AEW do? They go snatch them up. So like let's understand something, AEW. If you really want to be different from WWE, which you don't want to be different. You want to become the new.
They claim they do. That's how they gather the fans.
Yeah, like they want to they want to show it off as like it's different. We are something else. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Like, and hey, I love AEW. I think it's great. I really do.
It's like I told you guys like weeks ago. The way AEW built their brand was that they came in and they said, "We're here to showcase the talent that you guys don't see." And everybody was like, "Oh, they're just going to put themselves over." And then remember what happened. For a while, they all hid in the back. But now look at the show.
Yeah.
Look at the show now. Who is either opening the show or closing the show every week? It's those same people who said, "We're not here just to give ourselves a show." And then on top of that, like you were saying, when they bring in all of the people from WWE, now they're just giving all of these people who have had the biggest platform in the world,
all the spotlight,
taking it away from all of the guys who have been there since the beginning, because you promised them that they were going to have this new place where they can shine.
But what is it
really?
But what is it really about? It's really about the fans. Like ultimately, it's about the fans. But this is how we get CM Punk. This is how we get Daniel Bryan. This is how we get Ed.
I read an article. I read an article that was about All Out because I watched the whole show, and I remember. I know you spoke to Jordan about Adam Cole and Ryan showing up, and like I actually recorded it and sent it to him. The whole segment, and the article mentioned the dichotomy between what happened on that show and what happened on like pretty much last week's episode of SmackDown when Bianca Belair was in her hometown, or any episode of any WWE product recently when they're in their hometown. And he was like, the thing that AEW has realized is give the people what they want.
Yeah, because that's because at the end of the day, it's about making money. That's all it is. That's all it's ever been.
For
it's about making money.
For some reason, Vince just has a hard-on for not doing that. With Vince, there always has to be a swerve.
To be fair, a part of me feels like that's not a bad idea, because ultimately...
No, but once it's constant, like, it's just expected. You can toss a swerve, you can toss a curveball in there every once in a while. Let Bianca put Becky through the table. it would set up more heat going into their rematch.
Yeah, because
But
I don't know.
That's not what happened.
Because I don't know what's gonna happen here. A part of me feels like, you know, because Bianca keeps getting like shut down in the, you know, when she goes up against the Baxter. I'm pretty sure what's gonna happen.
She's gonna lose the match.
Yeah, she's gonna no. Yeah, Becky's gonna lose the match. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen. And I, you know, because that's the formula. That's the WWE formula. Like,
Yeah.
the person who gets like beat up the most is gonna be the one that loses the match. That's just how it works. Like, you know, before the match, you know, before the official match, whoever is out there getting, you know, beat up in the promos, that's who's gonna catch his face. And like, it's just nothing new. That's how WWE has always worked, like since we were kids. And they can't really change it. They don't know how.
What are you smiling
Yeah, no. Well, the thing is the problem is that it's been the same voice speaking for the last 30 years. So of course it doesn't know how. That's why NXT, even though, like, you're right, it is a show that is owned by WWE, but it's a completely different show. Because it's run by a voice that hasn't been running that show for 30 years. Although lately, that voice has exercised way more control over NXT and completely changed it into something different. Although I haven't seen the new NXT yet. I'm getting there though. Is it interesting?
I'm 3 weeks behind.
Oh, so you haven't seen it yet either?
Nah.
Cool.
Like, I didn't know it was supposed to be changing up.
Yeah, they're literally calling it NXT 2.0. That's why they've been firing a bunch of people, because they've been, or at least like Vince has mandated that NXT, rather than now being its own entity like it was, it's going back to its original purpose, which is just to produce
New
people strictly to be moved up to the main roster.
Which I didn't know it wasn't doing
mandated.
that.
See, the thing is it was, but not at the rate that it used to be. Because look at all the people on top now. Those are all former NXT people. And you think about how long they've been around already and how many not new faces you've seen compared to when they were showing up. Because it's gotten to the point where NXT has become so much of its own thing that when people get in there, they don't want to leave. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano have gone on record saying they never want to leave NXT. They don't want to go to the big time.
Where's Virgil?
They don't want to be moved up.
They're gonna die if they do.
Yeah, because
That's what happens.
because of stuff that, well, that's now it is. But look at what it used to be though. Because all the people that are on top of WWE today came from NXT. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Big E, all the women, they all came from NXT. So there is a chance for them to make it if Vince sees the potential in them. The problem is that Vince is sending out mandates like they're not hiring anybody over 30 anymore, and they're not hiring any more midgets. So at this point, it would be pointless for somebody like Johnny Gargano to move up, because Vince will automatically see nothing in him because he's not tall.
Yeah.
But Johnny Gargano is an amazing performer.
The last short person to make it was AJ Styles, who isn't really that short. He's just around a lot of really tall people.
You know. I guess
There's an old tunnel
Finn
through
is
here.
also
Maybe
relatively
we can
short.
get out that way.
But I don't know if I can even say he
I
made
got
it.
an idea.
I'm stuck.
I think, if anything,
From here.
Finn's
Yes, you can.
crowd
I
reactions
spray.
are the only thing
You
that
put the
really
move down.
keep him around. Because I'm not sure
There.
Vince
Now pull it.
cares. Because he's so small. But you know what he can do? He can sell merchandise.
Do it again.
Quick, the goes in there!
And Vince speaks
And
in
again.
dollars.
Hurry.
Oh man,
You okay?
Yeah. Come on.
it's funny. It's funny in a way that it's hard to. I mean, I guess this is like one of those things where it's like, if you ran a business, you'd understand, and I feel like that might be the case. I feel like if we ran a business, we would 100% understand the idea of like your fandom of this thing goes out the window once you realize how the business side of it works. Like you don't get to do things simply because this would be cool. Because like
That's what, see, you say that, and that makes me think about like the thing with AEW, where a lot of the people who are going into the company, they all talk about like how great Tony Khan is, and like how much of a fan of wrestling he was, and he turned like his fandom into AEW. But at a certain point, business is gonna overtake Tony Khan.
I think I saw something.
Shit. Cat, stay very still.
100%, business is gonna overtake Tony Khan. He can't be a fan his whole life and run a successful business,
Let's go.
especially at the rate that AEW is growing.
Yeah.
Because
You okay, Cat?
when they started, apparently he put like 25 million into starting the business, and it's grown to about 400 now.
Like this is the sad reality of this, because like I see this a lot when it comes to like I know I'm negative. I am a negative Nancy. I have a tendency, especially with video games, I have a tendency to like get real nasty when it comes to me not liking a game. I get that. But I'm starting to realize like I usually only like go hammy ham on games that I've already paid for. A game that I am playing that is taking up my time. Because I pronounce it with a Y.
Get out of sight.
Games that are taking up my time, I have an opinion on.
In that room and hide.
But recently, it seems like it becomes more obvious that the gaming community, like game journalists
He's coming in.
and stuff along those sorts,
What are you doing? Stay hidden.
definitely it's all filled with people who don't know how to
I've got you.
have an opinion and be like how to have a positive
You
opinion.
mean have an unbiased opinion?
No, not unbiased. Like have an opinion
They have to kill everyone.
that isn't negative.
Terrorists, remember?
So okay, so here's what happened.
I feel sick.
So
They'll pay for this.
so Red Dead 2, as big of a hit as it was, a lot of Red Dead 2 fans have been very upset with the content that Rockstar has been putting out for it. They're just like, yeah, like this is bad. This is not what we want. Give us, listen to us. Let us tell you what to do, and then do the thing we want you to do. Biggest issue with that is, not everybody is upset with what they're getting. Some people are totally fine with what they got. It's just the loudest voices are usually the ones that people hear. And I don't think that gamers specifically understand that they don't owe you anything. And a lot of people will like respond with, we put our money into their like stuff. They owe us. No. They sold you a game. You got the game. And the game is great. highly polished, very well put together.
Virgil's trapped.
They don't owe you shit.
He's in trouble.
It'd be one thing if you like kickstarted it and they just never like gave you the game, the product. They gave you the game. And so like what sparked this off today was Nintendo did their Nintendo Direct, which is basically this thing they do every couple of months where they talk about upcoming stuff. That's pretty much it. They talk about upcoming stuff. And there's some really cool stuff happening. Metroid Dread, which is coming out in like 2 or 3 weeks. I have pre-ordered from Target. Hopefully, like, you know, nothing happens and I actually get my shit. Nickelodeon's All-Star Brawl.
I was gonna ask if that was coming out on that.
Yeah, that's coming out for like every platform available. And I also have that pre-ordered on the Switch digitally. But Nintendo also openly stated that they announced that they would be adding a new tier to their online service that would add Nintendo 64 games and Sega Genesis games. Games like, and you would just have to pay a little bit extra each month for the service. And on top of that, when they did the NES stuff and they did the Super Nintendo stuff, they sold replica wireless controllers, so that you could play those games with the old control schemes. Like, and like, it's awesome. Like the controllers are expensive, but you can fucking play them. Like you can buy them and play like Super Nintendo games with a Super Nintendo controller, and it's hard to be like that. That isn't awesome. It's fucking great. It's cool. I came across an article today that was just like, the Nintendo 64 controller is awful. It was awful and it still is, and you can't make me use it. First and foremost, they're not trying to. It's an option. It's a cute little thing that you can purchase and play the games with for fun. It was a Kotaku article. And it's basically this person talking about how like strange the controller was, how hard it was to use. They pointed out some very obscure some very like how would you put it, like situational situations, examples. When Nintendo got like a lawsuit for the there was a game in like Mario Party 2, I think, where you had to spin the control stick, and gamers and players were resorting to spinning the control stick with the palm of their hand, and it would lead to blisters, and they got sued, and they were like, yeah, that was a problem. But ultimately, the game didn't say you had to do it this way. That was the way that gamers chose to do it, because they were looking for an edge. They were trying to win. They were just trying really hard to win. To which I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, whatever. So I didn't understand. I had a 64. Rather, I have one. I still have my same 64 from when I was a kid. It's not that far from me, actually. It's in a tote. I never considered the N64 controller to be awkward. I never considered it to be unwieldy. I never saw it as something that was hard to use. Now, I have you have big hands. Like, I know you have big hands. I have big meaty hands. Like, I acknowledge that my hands are fat. Yeah, I got fat hands. Like, I got meaty hands. And like, for me, like, I've held many a controller in my life. I mean, knockoffs, third parties. Fuck. I've held some controllers in my day. I've never, like, the 3DS is probably the only console I've ever used that genuinely, like, made me have to take a break from playing simply because my hands were hurting. And, like, there was no more to it than that. Like, it just, hands hurt. Had to take a break.
Got intense.
No, it's just very small. and I have to cramp I have to hold it in a very specific way, and it makes my hands cramp up. That's it. Like, there was no more to it than that.
Is that the one with the flip up screen?
Yes. Like, the Nintendo Switch is a little unwieldy at times because it doesn't have the handles. But I ultimately don't have a problem with that either. I can play with just the Joy-Con, with like a singular Joy-Con. I can play Smash with the singular Joy-Con, and I can do fairly well. But that's mostly because, again, I know how to use my hands, I guess. But I realize this is the same thing that makes certain people not good at building. They're just not good with their hands. And I find it relatively weird, but hey, you know, if that's your issue, that's your issue. But when it came down to like, yeah, you're not gonna make me use this thing again, they weren't trying to make you use it. As a matter of fact, you could only get the controller if you were a subscriber to the tier, the online tier that gave you access to these games. Like, you couldn't. They don't just sell the controller. You have to like be a part of this program to get the controller, because ultimately there's no real use for it. If I'm not mistaken, they didn't have Smash Bros. 64 as a part of the right? They didn't have that would be Smash Bros. 69. They didn't have that as part of the like the starting lineup. But they did say they would have like Mario Kart and Mario Golf and Mario Tennis. I meant to say tennis, not golf. Golf is in there, but you don't care about that. I don't care about that. I care about tennis.
Oh, hold on now. Because I played Mario Golf on Switch, and it's a fun time.
Yeah, but that's Mario Golf on the Switch. That's not Mario 64. Mario Golf 64. It's not.
Yeah.
So those are two very. That's like saying you drove a BMW and like so a Schwinn must not suck. No, not the same thing.
No, but I'm saying like maybe I wouldn't maybe I wouldn't feel so indifferent.
You might, because it's just golf.
Oh.
See? Yeah, I have it. No, I had it. I don't have it anymore. I did used to own it. Oh, my nutsack.
We'll get off it.
But I did used to own it. O'Neal Shelley, let him borrow it. He kept it. Just straight up kept it. Yeah. Probably. But yeah, that was the you know, the point I'm getting at is the need to be negative is just something that all humans have, and it's kind of the reason why I don't necessarily understand. It's something I don't get why people don't understand it yet. Like, this is what everything will always be. Somebody has to find a reason something can't work or why something can't be good, because people like to hate things. Like, wrestling is always going to be, you're going to have those people in wrestling who are going to tell you it's not as good as it used to be. You know it's fake, right? Or, you know, stuff like that. That's what you're going to get a whole lot of. And that's always going to be the case. And it
so
sucks.
What you're saying, like, specifically within, like, so in two different contexts. And as far as gaming goes, did you listen to that voice message I sent you like days ago?
Probably.
Where it was Adam Cole talking about playing the games and how there was no difficulty level, and it was all like the fun was like solving the puzzle.
Yeah.
You know, like when I was telling you, like this is what you were talking about with Jordan, the way he like looks at playing video games and stuff like that. But everything you just said is what was said by Tyler Breeze, like after Adam Cole said that, because what was it? Diablo.
Yeah.
I think he said, or Diablo 2. A lot of people had a problem with the ending. They like hated the ending.
Yeah.
And then he brought up the Game of Thrones situation where a lot of people thought the last season of Game of Thrones was trash, and they signed a petition to have it like redone. But he was like, no, this is what they gave you.
Yeah, just accept it.
This is what you have to. Yeah, this is what you have to take. Like he just like basically everything you just said. He said it too, and it was just like people for some reason just are never like satisfied. But it's like this is what they gave you. They're the people in charge of it. They're the ones who created this story. Like you just have to take it and take from it what you will.
Because I know the way that comes off is, oh my gosh, I got to do all that all over again. Shit. So I understand it. Oh man. All right, we're gonna stop here. In the next episode, we'll continue this conversation because it's riveting, boy. It's riveting, boy. It's getting them damn steel beams in place.
Then I'm gonna take it back to wrestling.
Oh yeah,
negativity.
Negativity. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Until next time, y'all. We out of here. Peace.